have already finished, or we are in our like in how
I don't know if it's
continue, please. Just so.
yeah. I don't know if it's is it spring? Is it summer? I mean, we're supposed to be in spring, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yes, in spring.
Yeah. So, what answer do you have to the question? Why is it so hot? It's like too hot.
Yes, sir.
Teacher, I
Yes, ma'am.
wanted to ask you a question about the speaking quiz before that we start the class.
Yeah, sure.
I made my record, but only the text. And the three words that I choose, I wrote it in a Word file. We had to include them in the audio and not in a Word file, or yes, I am a little bit lost with this.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but this is information that I have to share. Let me share the LMS. So now we are in the LMS, and we are in the class called Fonética Inglesa 2, ELT125. Yes, this is the class. Okay. So in this section, in the tab called, evaluation, right? You have writing evaluation, listening evaluation, and speaking task evaluation. So the last one is the task in which your speaking skill is assessed. That is, you have to speak, right? Because the other one, the first one is, writing about the contents. The second is about listening, right? About the contents. And lexical stress, this case. And this is a speaking task. So you have to speak. First, you have to read the rubric in the file. Then you have to read aloud the paragraph in the Word file. So in the Word file, there is a paragraph, right? So you have to read it aloud. Then, that is after you read aloud the paragraph, you have to choose 3 words and refer to the following: part of speech, number of syllables, etc., etc., etc. And you have to record yourself and save the file using an MP3 format. Follow the instructions provided in the Word file.
So that means, teacher, that means that we have to record the paragraph and also the information that we are going to describe, the 3 words as well. That's right?
In a nutshell, yes. In a like summarizing, yes, exactly. So this is the Word file, and it contains basically the same information. You have to read aloud the paragraph below. That is this paragraph. You have to read aloud, and then you have to choose 3 words, and you have to perform this analysis. And it has to be an MP3 file. You need to follow some instructions about how to name the file. And this is a speaking task. So it's all, you have to read it aloud, both the paragraph and also the analysis, of only 3 words.
Teacher?
Yes.
I have a doubt. Respect the instruction of the speaking and the part when the file says explaining how the general rules for stress placement apply or not to them. I don't understand what refers to this part.
At some moment, Camilo, just a second, right? At some point we explain, and it's also part of the PowerPoint slides, that sometimes there are sort of general rules. For example, a general rule that could be applied to two-syllable nouns is that whenever you have a two-syllable noun, such as jacket, it's the first syllable, the one that is stressed, not the second one. So that's sort of a general rule. You have a noun, the noun has two syllables. The first syllable is the one stressed. Another general rule is that if you have a two-syllable verb, it's like the second syllable is the one stressed. It's a general rule. Now, to those general rules, sometimes there might be some exceptions, right? For example, if I say that two-syllable verbs are stressed on the second syllable. For example, remain, to stay in a place, right? To remain in a place. That's stressed in the second syllable. But you may find the word, for example, enter, which is also a verb. So that specific word, enter, does not follow the general rule that verbs which are made up of two syllables are stressed in the second syllable. So that's an exception, doesn't follow the general rule. Now, there are rules applied to words which are composed by prefixes or suffixes, affixes in general, right? Affixes is the word for words composed by prefixes, the ones attached to the left, and suffixes, the one attached to the right. So if you find a word that contains a suffix, you need to see if it follows the general rule for those words that whenever you attach that specific suffix, they behave in a specific pattern. For example, the word science, scientific. So you need to find out which is the suffix and how does the stress behave. For example, is the stress placed on the suffix, as in Senegalese, right? Senegalese. The stress is placed on the suffix. Is the stress placed in the preceding syllable, that is the syllable right before the suffix, or is placed on the antepenultimate syllable, that is three syllables from right to left. 1, 2, 3, you placed the syllable. So that's sort of what you should include in the analysis, specifically about the words. So general rules, the one that we talked about at the very beginning. For example, another general rule would be compound nouns are stressed on the first element. A language teacher, greenhouse, blackbird. All of those compound nouns are stressed on the first element. That's sort of a general rule. And compound adjectives are usually stressed on the second element. So that's sort of a general rule. If you find that, for example, there is a compound noun that you found in this paragraph, and it's not stressed on the first element, but on the second one, then you have to discuss that this is an exception, because the general rule for compound nouns is that the first element is the one stressed. Okay, so that sort of not I as a teacher, but that you are given evidence that somehow you manage the general rules and you understand that that is an exception, or that you know that some words which are made of root and a suffix, for example, the suffix changes or does not change the behavior of the stress in that particular word. Okay?
And I have another question.
Yes, but Camilo was like next. If you can wait for Camilo, I think
Okay.
he might. Thank you so. I'm sorry, because Camilo had his little hand up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Go on.
I have a question about the time duration of the record, because I tried many times to do the record, but my time duration was like 2 minutes 10 seconds, and there was missing information. and that was the fastest that I could do. So, is there any deductible time, like 12 seconds more or 20, or it has to be just 2 minutes?
Hopefully, if you can make it in 2 minutes, that would be wonderful. But if you can make it in 2 minutes 10 seconds, no, don't worry. Don't worry about this. About that. That's all right. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Camila Leon, I think you have a question. Am I right? Maybe wrong. Sorry, I thought Camila, you had your hand up. All right. So
it was me actually, Esther.
Esther, okay. Esther, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The word that I chose, I mean, one of the words that I chose is classroom. My doubt is classroom had a suffix because Askat, que no sé, mi tutora, no sé cómo se dice en inglés, she told me that the classroom has no suffix, so I don't understand why.
Who's Asgard? Who is Asgard?
Tutora del CAP.
Okay, is she part of a program?
She teach me phonetics in other class.
Okay.
Like
Doesn't matter. Don't worry, Esther. Don't worry. Classroom does not have a suffix because room is not a suffix. Room can stand by itself. For example, if you think about the word scientific, see if you can just put or write ific, if it stands alone, or alcoholic, alcohol, ick. See, try to use the word ick. It's not even a word, it's a suffix, all right? Ick. So ick cannot stand by itself. You cannot like put it like here and it's going to stand. No, it's going to fall. Ick. Ick. Okay, it cannot stand by itself because you need to attach it to another word. Someone, it's a host. It needs a host, just like COVID-19, right? It needs a host. It needs someone to survive. So a suffix needs to be attached. Otherwise, it's not going to make it on its own. So room is a word that you can use. The room is white. The room is big. The room is a noun. And just like class. So you're basically combining a noun plus a noun. And what is that? Class, room. I mean, this is sort of information that you would get from a grammar class, right? Not from yes, Camilo. It's a compound noun, exactly. Classroom, class and room make one compound. The general rule for that is that the first element should be the one stressed, classroom. So whenever in doubt, step, if you have, well, you can find lists of suffixes. You can go online and you can type like lists of suffixes. But if you don't have access to internet, just the test. Can this section of the word stand by itself, like ick, if, like active, if can stand by itself? No, it needs to be attached to another word in order to survive, right? Active. So you're seeing a suffix basically. Okay. All right. Doom. All right, guys. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Can you go to Kahoot.it? And can you type a funny nickname? Nothing offensive, but can it be like the name of a fruit or the name of a famous actor or how people call you at home? How do your family call you? Or any fancy name, any name that you like. Okay, try to see if you can make it that way. You are in Kahoot.it?
What is the code?
Yes.
Code number.
Okay. So here's what's the game pin. Okay. All right. Oh, it's too quick, right? Well, it was very, very too much, too quick. Sorry about that.
We can hear
Too
you
quick.
well.
You cannot? Sorry, I think it was too fast, or I think it was too little time to be assigned for the first part, right? I mean, for the exercise in which you. So I think we need to do this again, but next time adding some additional time, right? These are two website links that I would like to share with you. I'm going to upload this to the LMS, so if you have time, you can take a look at these videos that are interesting. The first one is a video on YouTube. The second one is a website in which you can find information about sentence stress, all right? So for this exercise, I would like to ask Diana Marin. Diana, are you here? I mean, are you available and with a working microphone?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So how would you read the first one, Diana?
I will call you.
Okay, I will call you. Now, what if instead of stressing a call, I will call you, you stress a different element? Would that change the meaning of the sentence?
Maybe not the meaning, but like the function.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Like maybe I can describe or like the feeling of the sentence.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if
Well,
I'm explaining myself.
for instance, what if you stress a different element in the sentence? Can you
Sorry?
do it? Can you read it again, stressing a different element and then
Okay.
explaining it, what's the change?
Maybe I will call you. I will call you.
Okay. What's the idea there? I will call you.
Emphasize the person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will call you.
Yeah.
Okay. I will not call anybody else but you. I will
Just
call you. All right.
you.
Just you. Now, good. Now, what if you stress a different element?
In the same phrase?
Mm-hmm. In the same sentence, yes?
Maybe I will call you.
Okay. And what do you think with the change?
Maybe it's like something important, like I'm gonna do right now.
Okay. I will call you. I will call you.
Like I'm the person in charge of that activity.
All right. I'm the person in charge. I take control. I'm in command. So I'm gonna do it. Good. So wait for my call. I will call you. Okay, good. What if you stress this one, the auxiliary, which is not, I mean, what happens in general terms, right? Because it's a function word or a grammar word. But what if you stress it?
I don't know.
Can you read it? It's stressing that element of the sentence.
I will call you. I will call you.
Uh-huh. I will call you.
I will call you.
I will call you. Trust me, I will call you.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. All right. So by shifting the stress in a sentence, the intention of the speaker may vary. The first one you read aloud this sentence, you placed the sentence stress in the content word call, right? Call. That's a normal thing to do. You always pick content words and you stress them. I will call you. That would be something normal, someone that any speaker would expect. But placing or shifting the sentence stress to a different element to make it more prominent than the rest would have an impact on the perception and on the perceived intention of you. I will call you and I will call you. Definitely will have a different meaning in terms of the meaning, right? Gabriela Sasso, do you have a working microphone? Let me come back to Gabriela Sasso later. Miyarai Poblete, do you have a working microphone? I swear I saw her name right here. No, it's okay. Anyway, human perceptions can be deceived. Mr. William Gonzalez, do you have a working microphone?
I'm here, teacher.
Excellent. So, William, can you choose number 2 or number 3, read it one time, and then try to shift the stress to a different element and see if there's any change of meaning?
Okay. Fitz, I'm going to read.
All right.
Okay. The dog ate the big stick from the table.
Okay. All right.
I think the the stress is on the third word.
Okay. The dog ate the beefsteak from the table.
Right.
Okay. All right. The dog ate the beefsteak. By the way, that's an F. That's my bad. Sorry. Ate the beefsteak from the table. Now, what if you choose a different word to make it more prominent than the rest? Is there any change in terms of meaning?
Excuse me, Professor?
What if instead of the third element, what if instead of ate, you make another word more prominent in the sentence?
Okay. Table.
Okay. So the dog ate the beefsteak from the table.
Right.
The dog ate the
ate the beefsteak from the table. Right.
So what's the difference? The beefsteak was on the table. It was not on the refrigerator. It was not on the desk. It was not on a chair. He took it from the table. Okay.
Right.
All right. What if you shift the stress to a different element?
Hmm. I'm not sure, but I think in the between the fifth and the sixth word.
Okay. So what if you say the dog ate the beefsteak from the table? Or the beefsteak from the table. Not the sausage, not the pizza, not the Chinese food. The dog ate the beefsteak from the table.
Right.
Not the lemon pie that was right next to it, but the beefsteak from the table. Okay, what if you place the sentence stress right here in this word? The dog ate the beefsteak from the table. The dog ate the beefsteak from the table. Any change in terms of how you perceive the sentence?
I agree, dog is prominent because how you said it's not the cat, it's not the crocodile, it's the dog.
Right.
So I think the prominent words are the verbs, the nouns. Dog ate beefsteak and table.
Exactly. In general, the elements that are going to carry the sentence stress are going to be the content words. That is, nouns, as you were saying, William, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. And in this case, there's one sort of expected way, like if you go back to the first element, I will call you, you would be expected to stress the lexical word here, call, the verb. I will call you. Now, that is not a rule that cannot be broken, because depending on the speaker's intention, you can choose to highlight or emphasize a different element in the sentence. But if you choose a different element and not, for example, a content word, the meaning is going to change. Okay, let's take, for example, the following example. Okay, and let's see if we can ask Valentina Alvarez to read it aloud. Valentina?
Yes, the last one, right?
Yes, please.
She likes him.
Okay, she likes him. That was it. Stress, right, in this sentence. She likes him. Okay, yes. The stress on a verb, a content word. And the other ones are not content words. They are called grammar words or function words. Now, what if you stress a different element, Valentina?
She likes him.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes him.
Okay. So when you say she likes him, what's the implication?
That she likes that man specifically.
That's right. And it's stressing the first element.
But that girl in particular likes the man.
Exactly. I'm talking about her. She, and I may be pointing at her with my thumb. She likes him. Not Jennifer, not Mary. She likes him. She likes him, but I'm not sure if he likes her back. But she likes him. Okay? So there are implications, right? That only by shifting the sentence stress, we may have a different understanding or a different comprehension of the meaning, right? That's the point that I want you to understand, or I want to be very clear about. Can you, and let me see, let me try to find out if you can. Sorry, I'm going to share again, including the audio file. Let me see if you can listen to this, please.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Can you hear that?
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
So I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. So I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. You're expected to emphasize buy as a lexical word or a content word, bunch as a noun, and roses. And a little bit the first verb.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. Now, let's see that this is in bold, right? Bolded, and let's listen to it.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Yes? So, Fernanda Navarro, how would you read the last two?
Okay, I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Uh-huh.
And the last one, I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Excellent. Excellent.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses.
Right. So by shifting the sentence stress, we're getting a different meaning, right? And in this idea, I would like to ask Elizabeth Loyola to help me out by explaining which could be the possible differences between the second, the third, and the fourth exercises, please.
Okay, for the second sentence, I think that by putting the emphasis in the word you, the person is trying to say that I ask you and not to other person. Um, then in the third sentence, when the speaker put the emphasis in red, maybe this person is trying to say that the roses that he asked to buy were red and not blue or pink. And in the last sentence, is kind of similar because it's referring to the kind of flower, roses, and not liliums or other kinds of flowers.
Marvelous explanation. Thank you so much. Very clear, concise, and straightforward. Good job. Very, 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 very clear. So I have an exercise for you guys. I want you to take about 3 to 5 minutes to read the sentences on the left. As you can see, it is exactly the same sentence on the left, right? I mean, all in the column, they're all the same sentence. And you need to connect them. You need to match the column A with column B, trying to see and try to write the number, right? You need to have a piece of paper, write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you need to match the possible explanations. Let me get again, please. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, voila. Ready, guys? Do you need extra time?
Yes, teacher.
Sure. All right, let's take a look at your answers. I'm very curious, very curious before the break to take a look at the answers. And I would like to hear some of you to take the lead. Let's say any volunteer? So let's consider the following. Catalina Rosales, you're in charge of number 1. Diane, number 2. Number 3, Jolie. Number 4, Esther. Number 5, Fernando. Number 6, Lisbeth. And number 7, Nelson Parrao. Please.
Okay. The first one, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. It is letter C. Since he didn't rent it for the day, he bought it for him.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much. Shall we move on? Chop. Who's next?
Me.
All right,
Diana.
go for it, please. Diana.
Yes. Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew, not his brother.
Excellent. Thank you so much. What about the next one?
Me, teacher. Charlie bought the red bike, his nephew, because he only X, something like that. I think it's E. I'm not sure what that is. Yes, A. Sorry.
Okay, alrighty. All right. So you got it correct. Excellent. Number four is waiting for you. For you and only you. All right. So since no one is interested, which one do you think it's should match number 4? Which letter from column B?
Maybe letter G.
Maybe letter G. All right. Perfect. All right. You got it correct. Number 5. What do you think?
Letter D.
Perfect. I thought that was going to be difficult because I thought it was incorrect on my part. Good. What about the next one?
Letter B.
Letter B. And finally, number 7, letter E. Now, do you agree or disagree with the possible interpretations or implications of these statements? Let's take number 6, for instance. Let's pick number 6. Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. And number 6 says, since it is his favorite color, that's why he bought the red bike and not the, the other ones with different colors. Is that all right for you?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. So does it? My point. Yes. So it makes sense to you. That's my point. So, Charlie, can we let's try to read them aloud very, very fast before the break. So we have number 1, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. Number 2, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. Number 3, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. Number 4, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. Number 5, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. Number 6, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. And number 7, Charlie bought the red bike to congratulate his nephew. To congratulate his nephew. Not your nephew. No anybody else. All right. So that's the idea with this exercise. The idea that shifting the stress in a sentence. I mean, in general, you're expected to use a specific sentence on content words, just like in the exercise at the beginning. I will call you, remember? But then you can shift it, or any speaker can shift the stress, the sentence stress, to any other lexical element, or even a function word, but the intention of the speaker will definitely not be exactly the same, right? The implications are going to be different. So if you're okay with that, we're going to have a 10-minute break now, and then we're going to shift to a different topic, okay? We're going to be talking about something different, but it's also connected, because all of what we're going to seeing or covering this semester is connected. All of them, all of the super segmental features, is not, you cannot separate them. I mean, you can, but it's trying to separate the ingredients of a pizza once the pizza has been made, right? You have all these elements, you can combine them and you can prepare a pizza. But once you put it in the oven, right, all the cheese is melted and everything is combined. So it's very, very hard to separate the elements from a pizza, a hot pizza, right? So think about these when you think about all the super segmental features. It's very hard to separate sentence stress from intonation, and it's very complex to separate intonation from features of connected speech, okay? So 10 minutes, and then we meet probably at around 6:05, something like that, right? 6:05, 6:06. Enjoy your break, your sunny and hot break. I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
See you,
Alrighty.
teacher.
See you around.